All my life I've been charging towards the finish line even as it stretched farther ahead of me. Today I reached it and I can feel my anger and my outer shell collapsing in on itself in a beautiful explosion. I've been pulled by fishing wire towards who I know I am and can be for as long as I can remember, even before I could put a name to it. And when I collapse into the cool grass of victory, I will know I have made it. I've already made it so far, and I will continue going until I am old and gray, but for now I will rest, because I deserve rest. And I will gaze up at the clouds and take in the beautiful world that I am becoming more and more capable of seeing. I am afraid, just like the Atlas moth before it retreats into its cocoon and leaves everything it has ever known, including its body. But just like the Atlas, I'm beginning to trust that I may emerge better. And I know I must embrace change, even if the path to get there is difficult. I have outlived my past expectations of myself, and I have made it this far. Atlas. When I look in the mirror, sometimes I catch glimpses of him, almost as the sky reflects over the ocean when you can briefly make out fragmented reflections of the sky before they fall back into the swirling abyss of the waves. I see more and more of him as time goes on, and the turbulent waters briefly lull enough for me to fully perceive myself as I know I am. After the harsh winters beat and drain us and poison everything we love, the spring will come again and free all of us. The sun will shine down and melt away the frost as the earth finally wakes up. After spending 18 years in what felt like a divine and hellish waiting room, I feel like I am coming alive again as the frost I allowed to overtake me melts away and I can finally leave the waiting room and step out into the light. I am becoming who I know I am, and I need to embrace change and the unknown, but every day I see more of him through the fragmented and disconnected image I see in the mirror. I hear more of him when I talk to my loved ones as my voice breaks, crashes, and deepens like the once turbulent waters of my mind. April 14th, 2025. I will stare into the gaping maw of uncertainty, with its teeth long and sharp as it swallows everything in my life whole. I'm trying to believe that in every crumbled ruins there will always be flowers that sprout up and swirling vines that wrap every brick, breathing new life into the wreckage. I am trying to believe that there will always be dandelions that sprout up from between the gaps in the sidewalk. As long as I spent delaying pouring my feelings into a poem, waiting for something good to come to me, for hopeful, happy words to come flooding into the cracks and gaps in my mind, nothing came. I am afraid. It feels as if everything around me is dissolving into a gray fog. The future is suffocatingly uncertain and yet to be written as abyss encircles me and presses in on me. I am trying to find the confidence to face it, and I am aided by the fact that I don't have a choice. There will always be vines in the wreckage and the dandelion in the sidewalk, because bravery is the only choice, or you will fall into the abyss. Dandelion. That's the name of the poem. Trustfall, July 2nd, 2025. Clear blue heavens above me, earth far below me, I will plummet into oblivion. As Icarus fell to the icy waves, and as Lazarus rose from the grasp of death, I must take a trustfall backwards into the arms of destiny, and hope, no trust, that everything will be alright. When my optimism is becoming a tool for survival, rather than a mere philosophy, and I stare the cruel beast of uncertainty down as it threatens to take everything I love. There is no strength in survival, only the animalistic determination needed to make it through this world. Whether my wax wings of hope betray me, or a savior brings a miracle fit to turn things around, I will never know what the future may hold. But I will survive regardless, as I plummet into oblivion. August 24th, 2025. 6 months on T. Change. Through the cracks in my mind and through every faltering word and every breath made ragged, hope sprouts like a wildflower, born anew with each drop of rain. I have penned my obituary, walked through the flames of hell, and I will rise once again from the ashes of my former self. Just as the Atlas sheds its cocoon, I will step out into the open, bask in the sun's warm rays, and see the world through newly afforded eyes. As summer draws its last shuddering breaths and the gentle hum of cicadas lull me into a deep sleep, I can rest easy in the knowledge that I am ready. Poem for a Rainy Day, September 29th, 2025. In the static of the storm, lightning streaks across the sky. Thunder echoes through the trees like hoofbeats upon the ground. I drive alone, my heartbeat synchronizing with the windshield wipers as I draw a slow breath inward. The decay and the rot seeps outward, tainting everything I touch, burning everything in my path like a wildfire amidst the rain. The beast that has and will always live inside me has reared its ugly head, locking eyes with me as it threatens to pull the steering wheel. Even when life has been good, the beast still waits for a single faltering word or a moment of weakness, a loathsome creature that lives within my being, and an all-consuming fire will radiate from me and consume my soul. Bits and pieces of my psyche flake off in chunks like old paint, unable to create anything worthwhile, unable to see anything worth the time. Still I drive. When the pot starts to boil over and the cracks begin to form, and it all comes crashing down, Eden crumbling around you and an empire reduced to dust settles at your feet, as it all shatters and falls to the ground, thrown into oblivion, exhausted despite the adrenaline that's been coursing through your veins for ages. All you can do is watch the world continue to turn without the peace you once knew. Watching it all fade into darting, waning colors throughout your vision and drift across the glassy, vast surface of a river, your fate unknown. As it all fades into noise, the path ahead becomes clear and inevitable. All that's left is the next step, and the noise quiets to a dull hum as you take your next breath, headed once more into the abyss. Untitled. December 1st, 2025. New Year's, January 1st, 2026. Amidst the laughter of friends and family, and during the feasting and the music, the flame that lit the year will begin to die out and prepare to be reborn. The hardships of the year to be left behind, and the warm glow of the holidays illuminating the face of change. This year is over, and you've made it to the finish line, preparing to run another race. When the dust cloud that had once blocked out the light, kicked up by the storm of uncertainty, begins to fade, the sun can shine again. All of the mantras and inspirational words that had got you through the year fall on heavy hearts, no longer needed as the year is lit by a new flame. A certain, difficult year behind you, and an entirely uncertain but optimistic year ahead. You've made it through the year. You can rest. Poem for a Seabird, January 26th, 2026. Under the silent and starry sky, I sit alone in the silence, surrounded by my thoughts as they flow past me in the current of my mind, drifting like jellyfish. I often feel like a storm as it brews, lightning arching across the clouds and fog blanketing the ground, snuffing out the sun. Today I feel like a calm sea, and I know this moment won't last forever, but I feel grateful that it happened. Tomorrow the incoming tide will roll back in, carrying my anxiety and darker thoughts, scattering them across the sand. One day the storm will return, turning the once blue waters back to gray, but that day is not today. It is the quiet moments where I get to sit and watch my thoughts float by that give me the hope that one day I'll feel like this all the time. February 14th, 2026, the final poem. The nature of change, seen through the change in my nature. Through the lens I have been given, I can now see new colors painting my life, dashing and darting like the petals of a broken tulip. I've learned about change on this journey and how it is nowhere near as certain and predestined as the atlas emerging from its cocoon. Change is the erosion of mountains, how it takes away the sharp edges and leaves behind vibrant vegetation. I may bask in the cool grass, but I'm nowhere near across the finish line, only taking in a brief respite before I continue the race. Change is the way tulips are broken, how the virus takes its hold and, despite nearly destroying its ability to survive in the process, leaves behind painted petals worthy of Van Gogh. Change is a bloody, awful thing that holds you in its arms as it breaks you, only to fill in the cracks it created and make you somehow more whole than you were before, a collection of shards of different experiences all intertwined. The nature of change is that it cannot be tamed. It flows like a river and bites like a dog after a rabbit, but despite this, change is beautiful and deserving of embrace. We will always be made of the broken shards of our past experiences.